Welcome to Fun After 40 with Atiya. Tonight we have two guests, Claudia from Philadelphia and Gordon from Philadelphia. My last show, I talked about dating after 40 and learning how to date yourself. Tonight we're going to start with Gordon. I want to ask Gordon, he's a male that's 62 years old that looks like he's in his 50s because, of course, he takes care of himself. Gordon, why do you think women struggle more with dating after 40 than men?
Well, Atiya, I believe women struggle because their expectations are higher and they want something different out of life from their experience that they had when dating before when they were younger. So they coming in looking for certain criteria that fit their bill without giving any room for any mistake or any justifications doing something different. In other words, in plain simple language, they're stuck in their way and they won't bend. And if you haven't been outside of the Philadelphia area, you wouldn't notice this. And once you do get outside of the area, you'll start noticing things in yourself that you could do differently to enhance yourself when you're dating.
And what are some of the things that a woman can do differently when she meets a guy?
Well, she can do something different. She can enjoy the first date and not look at the expectations that she would prefer from her past experience on the first date. Just enjoy what's going on. And if the male crosses the line trying to advance herself physically, mentally, and spiritually, she can back him up and say, well, look, let's work what we have and go from there instead of right there shutting the male off and just asking the male, can he work something different?
Okay. And what tips will you give a woman that chooses to date online?
Ooh, that's a good one. Like I said, the expectation. When you're dating online, you're looking for something in particular. Dating online, from my experience, I haven't dated online, but I have talked to quite a few females online. And not coming the door, putting a extreme amount of pressure on the male to change his approach to you instead of letting him come to you, then you'll be able to make a decision whether to continue on the date online or progress further.
Do you think men view women differently when they meet them online than they would view them if they met them in person?
Well, they don't feel no different. I would come in with the same attitude online like I would in person. And the reason why, because if I come to you online and see how you are online, then I'll be looking when we meet in person at how you reacted to me online. I'll be looking in person for some of your shortcomings, your defects, instead of looking at your assets and the probability that our relationship might go somewhere.
Now, why would you be looking for defects opposed to the positive things about the female?
Because the person could change. I may not have the look she wants. I may not have the voice that gives her eargasm. I may not be financially secure in certain areas that she would want.
Now, why do you think men date younger? And why do you think that men date younger? And where did the saying, I don't want anything old but money come from? Usually men say it about dating females their age or older.
Reason why, because they know what a young person expects. They have what they call a key sweat disease. I want her. That was in one of his records. I want a girl last night. And that's how the record went. And most of the young folks want because of their upbringing when they were younger and their experience in life. And they want from the door, look, I want X, Y, Z before I attempt to do anything physically, instead of looking at the person mentally a little stronger than the physical aspect. I mean, I look at a woman too. I mean, she got it going on. But then I have to look at also, like a woman looks at her financial stability, her wants, her needs, and mainly her spiritual reaction to certain comments that I would say to her to bring her out while we're talking.
And when you compare a younger woman to a woman over 40, you say a woman over 40 comes into the relationship knowing exactly what they want from their past experiences. But younger women also come into the relationship with wants. So what is the difference between dating a younger woman than dating a woman over 40?
Well, a younger woman is a little more flexible. Dating a younger woman and dating a woman over 40, because a woman over 40 is kind of like her ways, and it's flexible, but not really flexible. In other words, she's flexible to a point. If she gets what she wants, she's okay with it. But if she doesn't, she like hardens up. A younger person just accepts what's there and keeps it moving because they're like, okay, it'll work for a minute till I get tired and I want to do something different. In other words, they're growing in a relationship. They're growing with each person that they date. An older woman, 40 and over, has been dating. So they're coming in the door looking not for something similar in their past or something different, but they're not giving any room for an older person to make mistakes, to honestly do stuff different.
Okay. Thank you, Gordon. Now we're going to talk to Claudia. The women that you know, do they date younger guys or do they try to date older guys?
Some of them do. Some of them date older. Some of them don't want to be bothered.
And why do you think that? Do they not want to be bothered because they think no one wants to date them, or do they not want to be bothered because
some of them feel like some of them has insecurity issues because at some point, if you're being told you're not beautiful enough, some of my friends from my age group, I'm being honest, society, at least here in America, tell women once you hit 30, you're getting old.
What is it about a male that makes it easier for him to date, you think, than it is for a female?
Society. The society has told them, not all of them, the ones that are secure, most male who will date female of a certain age, to be honest, a man in their 40s, 50s, or 60s cannot handle a secure 40-year-old woman, 50-year-old woman, 60-year-old woman, because to be honest, a man 40 and above, most of them are very immature. On the flip side of that, I've met men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who are very secured in their, what should I call it, manhood. So a woman who's in her 40s, they're not intimidated. Society, Atiya, has put in, like what you said, 48, if I put a pants on, oh, you're too old for that. So society has beat women down in their 40s. 30s, 40s. 40s is, you're saying 40s, but really 30, because I've had females in their 30s that saying I'm too old.
Gordon, how do you feel about what she just said?
Well, she's partly right. I'm not disagreeing with her. Like she said, some men, not all men.
And so why do you
insecure?
And so why do you think women struggle more than men dating after 40? And why do you think society has put a stigma on females to make them think they're old at age 30?
A lot of women go to school and everything, and they won't tolerate, which is good for a man to deal with a woman like that. A woman who can stand on her own 2 feet, because sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, sometimes men fail. And sometimes they need some support to say, look, you can do better from a female and get yourself together. And the females, they're working with them just like a man that is strong and can stand up, can encourage a female to be on the same level they are, which society doesn't teach you that. They had to learn that, and it's come a long way.
I agree. I also think that online dating, I personally think online dating is dangerous. But today, that's the way to date. And it seems like people that's over 40 tend to date online more. But how do you really get to know a person if you're dating online? And because of how society view women, does it appear to be desperation? Claudia, what do you think?
Depends on what woman you ask that question to, because you have to remember, Tia, online dating is that's a new thing. A lot of people have met their husband, their significant others on online dating. It all boils down to how we as women view our worth. So it boils over into insecurity. I didn't see my mother. My mother was old at 30, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's saying that. So here I am, 48, right? Picture that. At 30, my mom was saying she was old.
At 29, it seemed like, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end when I turned 30. But now, look, being over 40 and looking back, 30 was really young. And I'm glad that there are a lot of resources and people to guide women and teach them that life is not over at 30. You can date after 40 and you don't have to settle. And you're right. Back in the day, there were women that felt life was over for them at 30 years old. Not even too far back in the day, because my generation felt like at 29. But it's not really it's a stigma that mainly affects women. Men don't worry about age, and they continue to live their lives. They date, they have fun. Men think that women who's online, that they're desperate or they just looking for sex. So and sometimes it's hard for women to date online. And I just feel like what happened to the conventional dating before COVID is like people don't go out and meet each other and date anymore. Like online dating has taken over. But like you said, Claudia, there are people that met their husbands and wives online. And then there's a lot of people that get in dangerous situations.
Yeah. See, I've always had an old, so not old, I'm not, it's a different. Is young, I've learned a lot of my wisdom from the very same people when I worked in a nursing home. You want to talk to some female that's 90 years old and telling you I might look 90, but my spirit is still 25. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll never forget getting this lady out of bed, 90-something years old. She's like, listen, my boyfriend is down the hall in her 90s. But then Gordon said something earlier. This was a Caucasian lady.
It's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. Because if you look at the Chinese people, they don't feel like they're old until they're 80 years old.
Not even 80. You know, some part of Asia, some country, don't quote me, they don't know what time it is. They don't study the time of the day. They don't use clock because they say people are too focused. I know I'm getting old. You know, it's a culture here where life stops. And not all men, like I said, because I've met men who are looking for mature women. It's us, our culture, our race.
And what do y'all think? Yeah, we're old, right. And what do you think about the whole fun after 40 thing? How can people still have fun after 40? Because there's a lot of fun to have after 40. A lot of people that's having fun after 40 went through a lot of trials, tribulations, and trauma before 40. So what are the things that people can do to have fun after 40 and still enjoy their lives here on Earth?
Gordon said something earlier. He said, take a step outside of your surroundings. To be honest here, your life, Oprah said it, your life really don't begin until you're 40. You haven't learned anything really. 20, 30, whatever, you're just getting ready. 40 is when you really have an understanding. Oh, this is what, yeah, he said it earlier. Take a step outside of where you're at. Live some life. As for me, as long as you're living, take 40 out of it. Because some people ain't live to see 30, 20. There's no stipulation on living.
I like that. I like that response.
I'm 48 years old. I tell people, I said, don't show me my birth paper. It's lost. Because some moments I feel that way. And I say, who don't like it? Oh, well. You have to live. And like I say again, Tia, if you live to see 40, you'll have some tragedies in your life. At some point, you've been through some stuff. So 40 for me is when you should really be turning up, to be honest. But again, Gordon said it, our culture, we've been beaten down so long. So when you get to be 40, most of us, your kids should really be, if not out the house, halfway out the house. That's where your life really begins. So picture this. Your baby is 18 and you're telling me to sit down somewhere? Not here.
I like that. I like that. And Gordon, what do you think about having fun over 40? And you 62 years old and you still working 50 hours a week.
I'm living life.
Look, part of life, but when I get a chance, I'll go. At a young age, I had the ability to go around the continental United States and see most of the United States before I was 19. I got a chance to travel all over the United States. So I had fun. And now, when I get up and go, I go right up to New York, and I have a ball. Which New York gives you a taste of all the states in one city. But also, I have friends in upstate New York where I can go out there and just go sit on a path that you walk on and enjoy the beautiful scenery across the mountaintop or across the lake and just enjoy the peace and serenity that's there. I can get away from Gordon. As soon as I still work over 50 hours a week, but as soon as I get a chance to, I'm gone. Okay, I had a day and a half off. Hey, I went around and did what I did, but I came in the house and relaxed and watched some movies, talked on the phone.
That sounds exciting, socializing with others on the phone and having a few laughs. Fun after 40 is not always doing things that I like doing, like climbing trees and climbing up mountains and doing a lot of things. Like Claudia always say, you can have fun being still sometimes. And like you did, Gordon, coming home, relaxing, watching TV, just having the freedom to do what you want, as long as it makes you happy. I want to thank Claudia and Gordon for being on the show today. And Claudia is from Philadelphia, and she's going to tell us about her Jamaican style restaurant.
Oh yes, the best in West Philly, my Jamaican style cooking.
And where are you located?
Every Saturday, 55th Pine, across from the 18th District Precinct. Come and get some of the best Jamaican home-cooked food in town.
For more information, just shoot me an email and I'll send you Claudia's information. And Mr. Gordon, we would like to thank you for being on the show tonight. Mr. Gordon is from Philadelphia and he spent over 20 years of his life protecting the public. So we want to thank Claudia, who's actually an LPN as well, and Gordon, who protects the public. Both are first responders, and we want to thank them for working through this pandemic. Every day, they go to work and they help the community. We want to thank them for being on the show, and we all would like to tell you to continue to have fun after 40.